2025 has been an incredible year for LEGO Castle so far. We've had the Wolfpack Beastmaster from the collectible minifig series. We had Series 3 of the BrickLink Designer Program delivered, and we got the Forest Stronghold. And in January, we had the Medieval Dragon as part of the Creator 3-in-1 line. Now, there are more rumors that we have for sets coming out in 2025 that are incredible, including rumors of three new castle factions, as well as some other really cool things. So we're going to talk about that in this video and maybe even speculate what some of these sets and factions could look like. So we'll dive in talking about Creator 3-in-1. Now, in our last video about LEGO Castle, we talked about the potential of a 3-in-1 castle coming out in August, and at the time we only knew the price, $120. But we now know the piece count for this set, which is going to be just under 1,400 pieces. Now, this is interesting because the 2021 castle that we had just over 1,400 pieces. So I view this as a little bit of a mixed bag because we are getting a castle of about that size, but it is going to cost $20 more. Now, I'm hoping, although that's maybe a fool's hope, that the $20 extra is going to go toward maybe some larger pieces and maybe even some additional minifigs or accessories. For instance, we know that the faction is rumored to be the Horse Lords. Now, this is really cool because it is a brand new faction, if true. LEGO's not come out with Horse Lords before, and this would be something that we've not seen. So I hope that we get that. Now, when I think Horse Lords, I think Rohan, right, with the Lord of the Rings. And so I'm thinking maybe the colors could be, this is speculation, not any rumors that I've seen that link these colors with it, but dark green, gold, and reddish brown, very much like Rohan and Lord of the Rings, and that would be really, really cool. We do have blue soldiers from the Black Falcons, we have green, light green from the Forestmen, and red from the Lion Knights. So that new faction could do some really interesting things for diversifying our castle minifigs. Now let's talk about the castle itself and maybe speculate what that might look like. On the box for the Medieval Dragon, there is a castle, and it's in the background, and it doesn't look like it's massive, but it looks like it could be the size of a Creator 3-in-1 castle. Now, the 2021 castle was primarily dark blay with some light blay accents, and it also incorporated some yellow, dark blue, and reddish brown. This castle, I'm hoping, will use a different color combination because I don't want it to be a repeat of that one, and I'm hoping it's going to be light blay because that's my favorite castle building color, although I can understand why people would like the dark blay or even a tan castle. Now, in terms of accent colors, I would anticipate maybe getting something similar to the faction itself. So maybe some dark green, if that is the color, and I hope it is, along with some gold and reddish brown. This reminds me a little bit of like the Dragon Knights from like the 2007, 2010 range of castle sets, and I think it'd be really nice to get some pieces with that without the black castle, rather the light blay. But we'll see what they come out with. Now, I do anticipate that this set is going to be like traditional LEGO castles, the drawbridge, maybe a portcullis, a tower at the very middle above the drawbridge, and of course towers on the edges. In one of those towers, I would anticipate seeing some sort of a throne room, and of course there's going to be a treasure room somewhere in that castle, as well as maybe some play features that would allow us to blow out a section of the wall or something like that. So that's what I would expect for the 3-in-1 castle. Again, August 1st release, according to rumors, $120 and just under 1,400 pieces. Now, at the beginning of the video, I mentioned three new factions. One of them is apparently the Horse Lords, but factions 2 and 3 are going to come from the LEGO minifig dispenser. This is a set that is kind of like a gumball machine. When you twist the knob, minifigs will come out. And last year, LEGO gave us the option to vote for them among 4 castle factions: Griffins, Kraken, Crows, and Bulls. And the winner, or I should say winners, apparently, according to rumors, is that we're getting Griffins and Kraken. Now, I'm showing you the shields right now on the screen so you can see what those look like. And I think they're really fascinating because that was part of the voting information that we had. But with those two new factions winning, I'm really curious to see what the minifig torsos and accessories are going to look like. For instance, I imagine the Kraken are going to be like some sort of maritime faction, and so they might have some sort of sea-based weapons. The Griffins might be something like the Lion Knights, but new and different and modern. Not modern in terms of medieval, but modern in terms of like Lego design, and I think it's going to be fascinating, really cool, and I look forward to getting some of those. Now, there are two other reasons that I'm really excited for these two factions. The first one is that once they are released, they become part of the Lego catalog of minifigs, which means we might get them available on Pick and Build online, as well as the Build a Minifig stations at Lego stores. We saw this with the Lion Knights after the release of the Lion Knights Castle, and we were able to get those if you want to build armies. Personally, I'm not an army builder, but if you are, that could introduce some really good possibilities. The second thing that I like about this is that we might get some opportunities to get castle-related sets for those themes. One way we could see this, of course, is if Lego decides to come out with a theme. Now, again, speculation here for maybe 2026, but I think it'd be fascinating, really cool if Lego releases these themes through the Creator 3-in-1 Castle and this Lego minifig dispenser, and it builds some sort of loyalty and following for these factions, which might allow them to release a theme based on those factions. Do I think it's going to happen? I don't think we're that lucky, but that is a possibility. Of course, the more likely possibility is that we get something like this in the BrickLink Designer Program series. So series 9 and 10, I can envision possibly seeing those factions pop up in those. Because right now, Lego is accepting or about to accept submissions for series 8. So 9 and 10 are the next ones, and these minifig factions might be a part of the selection for that. So that would be absolutely fascinating because I can only imagine what really good Lego builders are going to come up with for those factions for the BrickLink Designer Program. We know that a lot of submissions come in for Castle medieval style sets, so I really think expectations would be high for those. Now, of course, we're talking about minifig style and size sets, but don't fall asleep on micro scale castles. That's right, we have talked on this channel on an off the cuff video about the architecture set coming out this summer, 3,500 pieces, the Schloss Neuschwanstein. This is going to be an incredible set. The rest of my family is really excited for this one, especially my oldest daughter Kiara, because she loves the castle. We have a big puzzle that we have that has that featured, and I think it's one of my favorite modern castles. So this is going to be really, really big. Now, in terms of size, think the Himeji Castle from 2021 and 2022 that is not nearly going to be as big. Like that one had 2,100 pieces. This one, 3,500 pieces, over 40% larger. So it's going to be absolutely massive. And I envision us getting quite a few really cool pieces and parts usage in that architecture set. So that's one that I'm really looking out for, although it's probably going to be really expensive. So I'm starting to save our money for that one right now. Now, another option that we could get for castle are castle adjacent themes. So they're not really medieval, but they could work, especially with the pieces. We see this potentially with Lord of the Rings, and of course we just got the Shire released, but in June we are rumored to be getting a book nook featuring Gandalf and the Balrog. Now, I don't anticipate that we're going to have orcs or Boromir or Aragorn or Legolas and getting those kinds of shields and weapons. But what I do envision is getting a lot of pieces that work with dwarven architecture. So lots of arches, inverted arches, slopes, and things like that. That would be fascinating to get. And with 1,200 or so pieces for $120, could be a decent value in terms of price per piece. And we might get some recolors or some new arches and slopes in grays that will be really good for castle builders. So that might be really interesting to add to your collection, not only as a display, but possibly as a parts pack. And so that's one that I'm excited about. Another one that we oftentimes talk about with Lego Castle is, of course, Harry Potter. Now, one of the newest rumors that I have seen is that we are getting a massive main tower. It's $250. We don't know the piece count yet, but it is going to be one of the largest Harry Potter sets of all time, and certainly the largest system set in terms of price. This would align with the Great Hall that came out last year, so it's going to be very tan and have lots of windows, probably some angles and slopes for the tower itself, and one of those really high peaked roofs. So if you like Castle, I think it's going to be fascinating to get a lot of tan pieces for your collection. And I actually think, and we don't have the Great Hall, and I don't think we're going to get the main tower, but if you start combining those, as Lego said, this is going to be the biggest, most detailed Hogwarts castle of all time. So that's a big possibility for that as well. They're also coming out with a set that has all the greenhouses and herbology classroom and things like that. So a smaller set, that might have some really good castle building pieces in that. Now, of course, the last thing I want to mention is something we've talked about before, but the BrickLink Designer Program isn't going away. We have Series 5 and 6 available for purchase. Series 5 in June, Series 6 in October. And of course, we're getting the Transylvanian Castle in Series 5. In Series 6, we are getting the Wolfpack Fortress. So we are having some castle medieval opportunities in those. So lots of chances to expand our castle worlds in LEGO. The problem is, well, they're going to be expensive. And so I hope that this video helps you think about how you can save up your money if you're interested in getting those sets, because I know we are thinking about what sets we're aiming at getting in the summer and in the fall, and thinking about what are we saving up for and prioritizing on our wish list. So hopefully this helped you with that. Make sure you like this video, subscribe if you want to see more castle breakdowns. Thanks for watching, and always remember to keep building together.